love the channel and find it useful in becoming a happy retiree. Subscribe today. Whole Amazon. You're going to hear more and more about that. It's, of course, a merger between Whole Foods and Amazon. Two dominant companies in their respective places. Of course, organic, Wi-Fi, and kale. Of course, that's Whole Foods. They cornered the market on that a long time ago. Amazon cornering the market on delivering pretty much everything you want to your door. And they've evolved from effectively just taking over places like Barnes & Nobles and Borders. Remember that company that used to sell books in a real bookstore today? You think about buying a book, oh, it's going to be online or I'm going to digitally download it. Yes, there's still a couple bookstores out there. You can still go buy physical books, but the industry has massively changed. Then Amazon went into selling pretty much everything else, taking a market share from a place like a Walmart, because Walmart-oriented products are going to be pretty much found on Amazon, and you can now pay Prime, which is not all that expensive in a given year, and you get it in a day or two. And it's most things you want that aren't massive, you can, or in size, you can get them on Amazon. So that was an evolution. And then, of course, the evolution that Amazon got into programming. Now you have Amazon, if you're a Prime member, you can still, they're competing with the likes of Netflix in the entertainment space. So they continue this steamroll of dominance as they continue to get bigger and bigger and spread out to other areas. They have been delivering fresh food and groceries for some time now, but to really get to dig into this massive industry, a $630 billion industry, that's the grocery business in America, they just instead, you know what, instead of just delivering in our own warehouses and our own hubs and our own portals, we're going to buy Whole Foods Market. And now we're going to have all of these Whole Foods all around the country, and we're going to start delivering and using these as distribution centers. And we're going to potentially bring the price down of what used to be called whole paycheck because it's so expensive. The worry of a place like a Kroger is that, yes, you've got two different consumers here, right? You've got the Whole Foods is still very expensive relative to going to a Kroger. But the worry so why does it hurt a Kroger so significantly when you're dealing with the Cartier of food in Whole Foods? Well, remember, Amazon for more than a decade went without really turning a profit. So their business model is we're going to expand on razor thin margins so that everything we do is cheaper than everybody else and more convenient than everybody else. And then at some point we can finally raise our prices once we've pushed everybody else out. That's the worry here, is that Amazon now runs Whole Foods to your door for cheaper than Whole Foods used to do it. They lose money for the next 5 years. A $500 billion company, they can lose money for the next decade. And price cut, so that now everybody starts using Amazon. They get this organic food from Whole Foods, the Whole Foods division of Amazon, and it pushes everybody else out. That is the story and the worry for all the other grocery stores in America. But there's a flaw in that story. And the flaw is that this is nothing new. This whole delivery mechanism and system of fresh groceries, it's not new. I've been talking about this for the better part of 4 years now. So companies that are even more specific to doing this, like Instacart and an Alabama-based company called Shipt, S-H-I-P-T, that's what these companies have grown up and they are designed to do. So the thought that only Amazon can team up with Whole Foods and make this whole to your front door fresh food industry work, I think is really a little short-sighted for the rest of the marketplace. And here's what I mean by that. Let's think about, and here's my, and this leads to prescription of what I think you'll see happen with these big grocery stores. So again, yes, we know Amazon's changing the way we get food. It's $630 billion grocery business. But you've got the Instacarts of the world that deliver the same food from the same grocery stores to your door. Shipt, same food, same grocery stores to your door. And they're already changing the way we access our groceries. We're not going to stop buying food. We're just going to change the way we buy our food. And I think this week's death of Kroger and death of Publix, even though you don't see it in the share price because Publix is private, but you've got to imagine that when they do their books at the end of the year, they're going to it's going to be a tough year for Publix too, just because they're going to track what Kroger does. But I think that the death of Kroger's of the world is highly exaggerated on Wall Street, like typically happens on Wall Street. So here's the prescription for the Kroger's of the world and the Publix of the world. And if you're just tuning in, of course, I'm talking about this big merger between Whole Foods and Amazon buying the giant grocery store chain. The value of the rest of the grocery store business got just annihilated this week in the market. Kroger lost a third of its entire value over a 2-day period. For the week, Kroger down 28%, Costco down 77.5%, Walmart down 5%, Target down 8%, a collective loss of over $30 billion in market value on Friday alone for all these publicly traded companies that are in the grocery business. The culprit, of course, Amazon. Amazon's gain, the rest of the retail world's loss, or so it seems. But I'm here to tell you that the American consumer is fine. Who serves the consumer isn't necessarily fine. The American consumer is fine. Who serves the consumer is not, unless they wake up. And here's the prescription for them to wake up. So Kroger and Publix, they have been partnering with companies now, and it hasn't been for that long. Call it the last 4 years. They've been partnering with companies like Instacart and Shipt for several years now, but you don't ever hear anything about it. So it wasn't until this week as I started to do I've known about Instacart for a long time, but I'm only recently hearing about a company like Shipt. And it's not like I'm living in a cave somewhere. I'm trying to stay very current on everything in the world that's happening technologically. But if I'm just finding out about it, you probably don't know about it, or at least there's a big percentage of those of you who are listening that never even heard of the app called Shipt, S-H-I-P, as in Paul T, to advertise how easy it is to shop now. They haven't been doing that. The Publix and the Krogers of the world, when was the last time you saw an ad that promoted the ease of use and ease of getting your groceries? You haven't. How many of those cheesy Kroger commercials have you seen in the last few years? Right? I love Kroger. I shop at Kroger. It's one of my favorite places. I love Publix too. I like both of them. But have you ever seen a good Kroger commercial? No. They're the worst commercials ever. So the commercials that you see this perfect family, they're gathered around a table, they're holding hands, they're singing "We Are the World" together. By the way, that's not a family that I've seen, by the way. That doesn't happen in the real world. Does that ad make you want to run out to go get stuff at Kroger? No, it doesn't. What they need to show in their ads, by the way, is a real family in the real world in the middle of the normal circus that we all live in, and the normal school year with sports and school and work and life and lacrosse tournaments, or the holidays when they're chaotic, and Thanksgiving when it's chaotic, and the too crazy to make it to the store 6 separate times life that most of us really lead. And maybe they'll start waking up to saying, well, wait a minute. I think you're going to start seeing the Publix and the Krogers of the world start touting the fact that they can solve your time problem, not just your food problem. And they haven't been focusing on that at all as companies. We know we can get discounted chips and soda and steak at Kroger. I know that. And that's what the commercials still tell me. But hey guys, I already know that. We already all know that. What they haven't been focusing in on, and this is why they're so behind in the conversation, they haven't been focusing on the time problem that you and I have as Americans, living in a city where even though Kroger is only 1.5 miles from me, yes, today when the roads are open, I can get there in 3 minutes. But back when when the 85 bridge was down, my little road in Montgomery Ferry to wind my way to get to that Kroger could have taken 30 minutes. That's how backed up it was. So my problem is not that I don't know where to go get food. My problem is that Kroger and Publix have not told me how unbelievably easy it is for me to get my food because of all the new ways of delivery, that they have had zero help. They have not helped Shipt. They have not helped Instacart promote the fact that, hey guys, for not a whole lot of money, and by the way, on Shipt for $35, if you have an order of $35 or more, they'll deliver it to you for free. Now, it's an annual membership. It's like $99 a year, kind of like Amazon Prime. But why wouldn't you just start on your app ordering all the things you want ordered and deliver when you know you're going to be home? I haven't heard one or seen one commercial from any of these grocery chains that promote that fact. And that will change. It'll change really quick after all these emergency board meetings that they're probably having right now at Kroger headquarters, Publix headquarters, Target headquarters, Costco headquarters. All the companies that deliver food or sell you food are going to have to understand how to compete in the now delivery food business. The ads are going to change. Now, will Publix and Kroger survive? Absolutely, they're going to survive. They're going to have to the transition, though, and that transition is going to be long and arduous. These are the companies that all of these food delivery, food grocery companies, they're going to stay under pressure for a while. They're going to stay under pressure for some time. But eventually, they're going to have an answer, because the answer is already there. They just haven't woken up to it yet, and they will. They will answer this question, and you're going to see it happening very soon. They're going to have an answer for whole Amazon, and that's the elephant in the room. Hi, I'm Wes Moss, and thanks for taking a minute to hear about what's so different about my new book, You Can Retire Sooner Than You Think. So unlike other retirement books, this book will give you a step-by-step guide, whether you're in your 20s or 30s or 40s or 50s, to learn from what these successful and happy retirees did to get there. I hope you enjoy the book, but more importantly, I know that it'll help you retire sooner than you think.